Hi, this is Andy from Rolling Dice Show here at Essen Spiel 2015. I'm here with Matt Leacock. Hi, Matt.
Hello, Andy.
And we're here to talk about Pandemic Legacy. So let's introduce Pandemic first. If you've not heard of Pandemic, what is it?
So Pandemic is a cooperative game
Yep.
for 2 to 4 players, and you basically represent a disease-fighting team trying to find the cures for 4 deadly diseases before they wipe out humanity.
Perfect. And so that came out a good few years ago now.
Yeah, it's 97.
Was it
No,
90?
sorry, 2007.
2007 makes more
Can't keep
sense.
track, yeah.
So we've had a few expansions for it, and now releasing sort of now is season 1 of Pandemic Legacy. What does Legacy bring to the game?
Right. So a legacy game is a game that kind of evolves over time. So when you play Pandemic Legacy, it starts out pretty similar to Pandemic. There are just a couple little tweaks, but you can get up and running right away. And then as you play, it gradually changes. The game kind of gives you some settled instructions. You make decisions about ways you can change it permanently. You can be putting on stickers. You can be writing on the board. Your characters will evolve. And all of this through these materials that come shipped with the game. So you get this sort of like, I want to call it like a cinematic experience where each game is like a TV show, but the series of games you're playing, because it evolves, is like watching a whole TV series unfold.
Does Legacy include some of the stuff from expansions, or is this back to base?
Well, it's kind of hard to talk about because much of the stuff is sealed away in packages or in these dossiers, which are like kind of like advent calendars.
Yep.
So at various points during the game, you're instructed to open up a dossier door or open up a package, and you'll get new surprises in there. So we really haven't shared a whole lot about what's in there, but we can tell you that some of the basic things that are different out of the box, if you were to buy it in the rule book, the world gradually has problems, let's say. So cities begin to panic, characters evolve. They develop abilities, they have relationships, and they get scarred up a bit. So if you're familiar with a role-playing game, it's not like a role-playing game really, but you do have some like character development over the course of the game.
Is it similar to the base game as you get like a role, so you've got a special ability?
Yeah.
Yep. And does that stay with you throughout the game? Or
No, actually, it's pretty flexible. So you can play with 2 to 4 players, but if you drop a player, it's not a big deal. If you swap anybody out, it's not a problem at all because it's cooperative. It's pretty flexible, and then you can kind of select the characters you want off the bench to play. So you can kind of look at the state of the world and go, "I think we want this team." So it's kind of fun in that regard.
Oh, that's cool. So, I mean, how did you just approach that? So, let's make a legacy game. Let's make it Pandemic. Like, how do you go back and go, okay, what can I do to make this last and to surprise people? How do you?
Well, I had the great fortune to work with Rob Daviau, who kind of pioneered the format with Risk Legacy, and I was talking about potentially doing a game like this with Z-Man, and I thought, why not go to the source? And he immediately said yes, so I was very excited. And basically, you fill up a lot of notebooks with ideas, and you design a lot of stuff, and you call all the bad ideas, and you iterate like mad. There's no real secret other than a lot of hard work. We did a tremendous amount of testing on this game as well. We did a lot of video play testing, where we'd send out a copy, ask people to record themselves on their camera phone, and reviewed countless hours of footage.
Wow. So like in a percentage, how many ideas did you have to cull down, do you reckon? Was it like... Because I imagine the thing is, like, this, in theory, could take you anywhere. So, like, the amount of options you could have tried, I imagine, were, like, in the hundreds.
We tried quite a few, and sometimes you kind of develop a backbone or a spine for the game and then figure out exactly how you want to add on the muscle. And then eventually you get to the finer detailed points. And I think we had to chop a limb off at one point, but we were able to graft another one on and move from there. And it's always nice to know that you can do that and succeed because, now we're working on new projects. And, sometimes you run into difficult situations and you're like, oh, yeah, do you remember when we were designing that other game and we actually pulled through? So
was how long, did this take longer to design than a normal game, or was it sort of... How long was the process?
Well, I quit my day job,
so
I was able to work on this almost full-time, and I had the help of Rob, so we were able to do it in about a year.
Okay.
Which is kind of fast for me.
Yeah.
But with all the attention, before that I was designing part-time, so it was wonderful to be able to concentrate on it and have help. But it was the most complex project I've ever worked on. Yeah, by far.
Has the legacy bug bit you now? Is the next game going to be a legacy game? Have you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't. I wouldn't sign up for something like that lightly.
Yep. I think that's fair.
The game is labeled, subtitled Season 1,
yep.
So potentially there'll be other seasons.
Potentially. So nothing confirmed yet?
There's nothing announced.
Okay. I've got to try. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a really interesting and fun way to do game design because you can bring so much story into the process.
Yeah. How much sort of narrative is there? Is there quite, or is it sort of, do you let the players sort of bring that in, or is that?
I mean, it's a tricky thing because you don't want to be sitting there reading a book, right? Yeah. So there's enough basically there to ground the players, and then we really try to get the interaction to tell the story. Yeah. And then the players end up painting in all the gaps themselves, and it makes it a more powerful experience. There's there's background information, but there's not a tremendous amount of reading in the game.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you can get sort of Season 1 in blue or red.
That's right.
There's different? Can you explain why there's different box colors?
There's a number of different things. I mean, you can choose the color that best suits you, yep. Or if you're going to play the game with 2 different groups, for example, you can have one set for one group and the other set for a different group.
Okay, last question.
Sure.
What is your sort of your number one reason why people should be getting Legacy instead of maybe base, Pandemic, and Expansions?
Well, if they want a novel experience that tells a really gripping story, I think that's the best excuse.
Perfect.
The best reason.
Thank you so much, Matt. Really appreciate
my
your
pleasure.
time. Thank you.